I'm no longer part of TTEC, thank goodness. TTEC is a terrible company, and I am very happy to be away from this. I basically converted this into a standing desk. So I have my laptop. It's high up, and I get to kind of look at it and make it look at the screen and stuff like that, and really actually have a standing desk for once, which is actually kind of a relief. Um, yeah, I'm still a little depressed. Don't get me wrong. There's still strong emotions, but I'm okay. I just want to let everybody know I'm okay. I feel crappy. I do, because I had worked there for 13 years, and I really put in a lot of effort. But before I start trashing how bad TTEC is as a company, I do want to thank them for employment. I just want to make sure that's very clear. Um, Overall, they did pay me out pretty quickly. But what I'm really more angry at is not the company. Well, I am angry at the company, and I'm also grateful. Two things can be true. I am grateful for the employment that I was given. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I am sincere about that. What I'm not thankful for is how many sociopath managers I had to deal with. Not that many, believe it or not. It was up until recently. But you think with being at the company for 13 years, by the way, I started out with FCR. They got bought out by TTEC, so technically, I've been with the company for, almost 13 years. So I would have had my 13th year anniversary coming up, but, yeah. So they're not a good company. I'm happy to bash this company at the same time on the internet because I got fired for, and I'm going to air quote this, unprofessional behavior because I had disputed, get this, I had disputed what is called a corrective action. My first one, I still disputed it a little bit just because one of the main reasons that I was having trouble coming in and was really struggling was because the lead that I had to deal with, Brittany, was in a lot of ways being condescending, made me feel like I was always going to lose my job for no reason. Like, my stats were actually good. And they still were, even up until the very end. What really got me fired was my responses. They felt I was condescending, which towards the end I was. I'm not going to lie. On that second corrective action, I was extremely condescending. I felt like, because I was like only 2.1% centile away from the reliability goal for the month of August. And they couldn't make an exception or an understanding, and I don't know why. Because all it would have took was me actually using wellness time, and I chose PTO. I chose wrong, I'll admit it. But at the same time, it's just like, dude, you guys, come on. Look, I'm not happy. If we're going to be quite honest, I'm just not a very happy person about it. Name a car for an edit. What are you talking about? Name a car for... I don't know what you're talking about, brother. Colton, I have zero clue what you're talking about, but I appreciate whatever the hell you're trying to say. I will say this. If anybody ever works for TTEC, watch your back. That's all I got to say. Watch your back, please. And the reason I say watch your back is pretty simple, man. It's like I don't know if all the management is terrible there, but man. Let's see. I'm a knight and I love you all, says Starboy. Dustin says, do we feel like a fish out of water? Well, random guy on YouTube said my biological stepson says TTEC is dookie. It absolutely is. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I'm grateful that they employed me, but at the same time, I'm very upset that they claimed I was unprofessional, because I really wasn't. Sure, I was a little condescending because I felt like I felt like what they were doing was condescending and not in good faith. So when I feel like I'm being slighted or something is being done out of bad faith, I become a little sarcastic and I mock certain things. I didn't even mock them as people. I wanted to though. I do think that they're Karens and I don't like them. Whoop. Brandon Wood said this dude is super racist. Why do you say I'm racist, Brandon Wood? Maybe you're racist. You do realize I'm Mexican, Brandon. I can't be racist. I'm Mexican. Actually, if anything, I'm pretty sure my bosses didn't like the fact that I was part Mexican. I often wonder about that. So let's see. Warning bot says, warning, this video has been flagged to stop recording right now or your channel will be suspended. Warning bot, what the hell is that? What is that bot? What is warning bot? Let me take a look here. Sounds like some dookie. I'm gonna put a please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a channel member. Thanks. I'm going to put that on here. So we need a few more. Is the sound a little bit off? So what the hell is warning bot, by the way? By the way, what is warning bot? You guys got to give me some insight on this. Also, I'm going to put up a poll here in just a second. I'm going to try to at least. Create a poll. I'm creating a poll real quick, guys. Sorry for the delay. My apologies. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this aligned. So wait, what does warning bot do? Why would it say that I would be suspended? Because here's the thing, man. TTEC is a bad company. They fired me under false pretenses and slandered my name, saying that I was unprofessional, which is garbage. We are going to look at the TTEC Reddit. I won't be able to share it on the screen, but I am... I'm going to look at... What the hell's warning bot? Warning bot seems like a fake... I'm going to go to the channel real quick. It just seems fake. Fake and stupid. This is just some random kids channel, it looks like. So warning bot is just a garbage... warning bot is some fake-ass crap, dude. No, the thing is, man, they've been very terrible to me. TTEC... Look, here's the problem with TTEC, man. We're going to look at the subreddit, and we're going to see that I'm not the only one who's been gaslit. Here's the thing. The only... And look, I understand that most people who feel like they've been slighted by a company are going to go to Reddit. So you're not going to see a lot of positive stuff on there. But you're going to see a lot of people who are not getting responded to by TTEC themselves. So I don't know what... Because they can't keep anybody. Nobody wants to work for this company because it's terrible. They're just terrible. Let's see. Caden says a warning bot can refer to several things. Most commonly a Discord bot that monitors for rules. Here's the thing, that warning, I just checked that channel for that warning bot. It's basically some kid's YouTube channel. Like a child is running it, has 57 subscribers. So I just saw their little shorts. Let's see, random guy on YouTube says it's a person trying to clip people freaking out. Yeah, I don't know. I have every reason to have an opinion on this company, mainly because I'm not the only one who has the opinion on this company. TTEC is a bad company. They treated me like garbage, and I was honestly on the client I was on. I was one of the better people on there. As far as production quality, I I wasn't mean to any of my colleagues. Started with management being total d-bags to me, and when management treats me like garbage, man, I don't just lay back and take it. They wanted me to lay back and take it, and I refused to do so. Um, so yeah, no, they're terrible, they're bad. I I'm ashamed to say that I'm ashamed that I I put up with the abuse for so long from management. That's the thing. And the reason that I keep making these videos is not that I don't want to work for that company ever again. I'm actually glad the bridge has been burnt. The bridge deserved to be burned. Let's see. Tahoe says they canned you. Absolutely, they let go of me. But hey, toxic management canned me, and I'm totally fine with it. They were really pissed because I narked to HR, human resources, which was also unfortunately on their side. Human resources is not, when things are going bad. If you're working for a toxic company, HR is not your friend. HR does not try to resolve anything. It does not try to make you feel like you're heard. What HR told me was that nobody else on my team felt the way that I did about management. Therefore, I'm basically wrong for feeling what I feel. And I was like, have you ever heard of targeting? And also, we only had like 6 people on our team outside of myself. So technically a total of 7, including myself. But the whole point I'm trying to make is they were so intimidating when I was talking to them, to the person above, Stephanie. Stephanie was so bloody intimidating that I see why people lied to her. They lied to her. Like, there's no other explanation, because I almost felt like I wanted to lie to her, but I've got ethics, so I don't lie. I basically say if I think something's bullshit, I tell them it's BS. I don't say bullshit, but I do say BS, because if it is BS, it's BS. Let's see. My biological stepson says YouTube doesn't really give a warning; it just closes your stream. Yeah, I mean, like, not like, it's funny because I'm not actually playing anything. I'm not playing any copyrighted stuff. I'm giving my opinion on a bad company. Tim Smith says, I called TTEC when my Mario Kart glitched. I followed their directions, and now Russians have my credit card. Oh God, Tim Smith. Yeah, I don't trust TTEC at all at this point. I'm glad they gave me my money. I'm glad they paid out my PTO. And yeah, I'm finally done with them. I'm not looking back at all. I am going to file for unemployment, though. They do need to give me some sort of reason why they can me, though, is the thing. Yeah. I should say hopefully they give me a reason, but they may not. But yeah, no, so we're doing a standing vertical. So I set up a little mini studio over here. So I got 2 studios now. I got the studio where my old computer used to be. I got my phone as my vertical camera. And I still have my main studio when I do my, official horizontal streams. But this is going to be my vertical stream setup. I got my laptop so I can, do what I need to do here on the laptop. I could stand up. I also like standing. I like to make sure that I'm, keeping my feet fresh. And I'm going to be on my feet quite a bit, so I got to get used. I got to get used to, walking around again. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to start a new chapter in my life. Look, I get to do YouTube. This is the great thing. I get paid to do YouTube. I get my dividend payments. I'm very cheap when it comes to my grocery shopping. So I'm gonna be living off canned food for a bit, but I'm gonna be really going hard on doing delivery driving for DoorDash, which is gonna be fun. It's just wild to me, man. But yeah, I was basically canned, in more ways than one, and that's the worst part about all this is, do I think I deserve to be canned? No, I I try to go through my head to think if there were a few things I probably could have done a little bit different when it came to interacting with them. But honestly, like, they were just going to keep gaslighting me into agreeing with them and things, and I couldn't agree with them on a few things. I couldn't agree. And mainly the big thing was the second write-up. The second write-up they gave me for reliability just felt like a slap in the face when I'm the most reliable team member, when especially not attendance. Sure, I came in late a couple times from lunch. Things happen. They were really nitpicking and looking for any excuse to fire my ass. Like, trust me, I know when people are looking for a reason to fire somebody, and they were looking for a reason to fire me. TTEC is bad news. I just want to say to anybody who's about ready to work for that company, it's bad news. Stay away. Like, it's seriously bad. They're bad news, man. We got 13 votes in. Is TTEC a garbage company? 54% of you say yes. And 46% of you say no. Make sure you guys check out the poll. And please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and become a channel member today. I really appreciate it if you guys could do that. We're really, at this point, just because there's so many uncertainties, we do need a few more channel subscribers. And we need, all that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm missing a lot of the... Hold on. Sorry about that, you guys. I missed a lot of chats yet. Let's see, I have a question, by the way, not trying to interrupt. It's okay, Caden, let me know the question. I will try to answer everybody's questions in the order that they come in. Tim Smith, message retracted. It's okay. Yo, Tim, dude. Yeah, my biological stepson loves Tim Smith a lot. So he's the man. Starboy says, in space, all texture, water, oil, rock, structure held together by sound we can't hear, but it's there. Data Voyager 1. What are you talking about, Starboy? Sound moves planets, bind it. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Can I be a mod, please? Caden, no. This channel has 0 mods on purpose. If Google wants to remove comments, whatever, they can go for it. But I don't really care to moderate my chat, because if you can't handle the chat and you can't handle the content, just don't watch my channel. Unsubscribe or block me or whatever you want to do. Let's see. Tahoe OG says, how much per hour does TTEC pay you? So I was getting paid $18 an hour. In which, honestly, the job wasn't too hard. At least for me, it wasn't. I put up really good statistics, so I felt very good about what I was able to accomplish while I was there. And the client I was on before that, was called, they're called Tracksmith, and they're pretty good. They're a pretty decent client. But yeah, TTEC overall, I've been with this FCR TTEC basically for almost over 13 years. November would have been my 13th year anniversary. But they burned their bridges with me, and it's a shame. It's a shame. Let's see. Random guy on YouTube says he doesn't give out mod hell. Give me or Tim it before other people. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I don't make anybody a moderator. I'm a moderator technically, obviously, because I'm the admin of my own channel. The reason I don't give moderation is because I don't believe in it. I don't really care if you say bad words or say terrible things on here. I really don't. At the end of the day, I'll just probably say terrible things to you if you say terrible things to others or me. That's how I whirl. Caden says, what are the chances I can get a mod? Caden, here's the chance that you can get that you can become a mod. 0%, buddy. 0%. I will say that Tim Smith and my biological stepson have a better chance of being a mod than you do. I will never say never, because you can never say never to certain things. So I'll just say 0.001% chance, Caden. I have no idea who you are. So I don't know why the hell I would make you a mod just because you ask. I mean, I appreciate you asking, though. I will say this. You never know until you ask. So keep on asking. Well, No, don't keep on asking me. Ask somebody else. Um, Random guy on YouTube says, yeah, he doesn't like censorship, so he doesn't have mods. Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to have mods if I have no reason to censor anybody. I mean, unless it's really egregious, then sure. Do you support freedom of speech? Says Goyard Jaguar. Yes, he does. I'm very much, yes. Thank you, my good Ty Lord, on that one. Goyard says, can I say the magic word that starts with N? I would prefer you didn't. I would prefer you didn't, but ultimately you are responsible for everything you do. That's the main thing. So anything you want to say on there, that's your call. Not mine. You do your thing though. So we got 26 votes. Is TTEC a garbage company? And 54% of you say no, and 46% of you say yes. So interesting, and interesting. 26 votes total. Very good. Be right back. Odura says, I'll be right back, guys. I just diarrheaed my pants. My man. Jacob King says, you look like someone I've seen on the Predator Catching channel. That's so funny, dude. Good Lord, man. I'm Chris Hansen, Dateline NBC. He doesn't know that he's about ready to be caught and doesn't know what to do. I don't know. Let's see. Goyard Jaguar says, I agree, Jacob King. Let's see. Tim Smith says, DoorDash could be huge. Imagine the tip on delivering Abby's pizza to the Hayden Homes Amphitheater. Oh, dude. That'd be a big tip, especially if Our Lady Peace was there and wanted some DoorDash. Let's see. Aduris says, what the hell is Bozo talking about, dude? I don't know. What am I talking about? I'm a wigger. Let's see. Jacob King says, I'm dead serious. Jacob King, what the hell are you even talking about, brother? What are you talking about, brother? Noob says, hello, would you rather be a trickster or... Just to quit. I'm not gonna read that full one. I know what you're trying to do, bud. Let's see. Goyard Jaguar says, I saw him in Colorado Pet Patrol. Let's see. Hello, I'm new here. Cool. Batman vs Superman. Thank you. I think Superman would win against Batman, by the way, just as a fun fact. That's my that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to it. Okay, this guy. Odura says, this guy took the worst shits at TTEC. Dude got fired for having the smelliest poops. I mean, it's all work from home, so they could probably smell it all the way from Oregon. Let's see. Skinny Legend said, can you buy me McDonald's land meals? I don't know. Hell if I know. South Dakota born and raised says JG. Skinny Legend says, please McDonald's land meal. Okay. Whatever. Goyard Jaguar says, I would be worried if I see him delivering my food that he would touch... Oh my... I'm not reading that. Let's see. Skinny Legend says, chicken nuggets. What are you talking about, brother? What are you talking about, brother? Goyard says, biological stepson, how does that work? Look, so... So, as his biological stepdad, I got stuck in the dryer. And then I got pegged. So what happened was I got pegged, he came out of my butt, and then he became my biological stepson. That is the logic in the biology behind biological stepsons. Just the more you know, okay? So... Faraz says, hello, boss, remember me? A little bit. The name looks familiar, I think. Maybe. I'm trying to piece everything together. Skinny Legend says, please, McNugget meal. YM says, imagine if everybody supported a fellow creator. Yeah, and I'm basically trying to, really encourage everybody to subscribe to the channel, but also, if possible, become a channel member. Um, as a channel member, you can help keep the. It does help because because TTEC has slandered me, I do not know if I'll be able to get the unemployment benefits that I need to get because of what they've done. So. And the irony is, I just didn't expect to be fired like this. This was really the last thing I expected. But you know what? I'm turning a new leaf, man. I love it. I've been minimizing. I've been getting rid of it, unnecessary stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. What's up, Bub? Jacob King says, "Main, y'all crazy. It's Calypso. I can rap God fast part." Okay, cool. Super Cola Gamer. Hello there. Skinny Legend says, "I'll shout you out if you buy McDonald's lamb milk," whatever. Jeremy William says, "Hey, bro. Is Jeremy from North Carolina? Do you think that they should fire Bryson because he didn't get the job done today? And they've been trying to go through quarterbacks." I don't. If you're talking about college football, I don't know garbage about college football, to be honest. I pay more attention to just what's going on in the NFL because I love fantasy football, but I'm not a college football guy. I never really got into it. I prefer, call me gay if you want, but I prefer my men meaty. I need my men big. I need the big offensive lines, man. So sorry, I can't. I don't watch college football, man. I watch the WWE, which is the NFL basically. The NFL equals the WWE because, they're getting better. I think there's going to be games that are reffed fairly, but I do believe that sports betting has been way too injected into the game itself and is ruining the game. So that's something to keep in mind. Tony Ed says, "Why should anybody subscribe or like? What do you offer?" Well, what I offer is very simple. I do, for the most part, talk about investing. That's my primary thing. I talk about long-term investing and why you should diversify. I have a lot to offer. I overall do. The more members we have, it just keeps the lights on. Overall, it's just a source of income, and I appreciate it big time. Otherwise, I do make money off the ads. I'll admit that. Yeah. So become a channel member today if you can. I appreciate it big time. Or at least, at the bare minimum, subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we get, the better. So if you can subscribe to the channel, that will help out quite a bit. Let's keep rolling. But yeah, no, I'm very good at. I believe in multi-ETF theory, which is multiple exchange traded fund theory, where you have a portfolio buying one share at no commission cost. By the way, that's why I use a brokerage account that has no commission trading. So that way you can just buy and hold any specific ETF and be able to have a diversified portfolio of varied ETFs. So multiple portfolio theory too, which is kind of cool. So it allows you to not only be diversified, but in a weird way have a variable weighting that it's kind of chaotic. But it's orderly, yet it's chaotic. It's diversified, but the weighting is chaotic. And that's why I don't really believe in portfolio weighting. I just believe in spreading out your risk as far as you can go with it, and being in assets that are inflation proof, like gold and silver. Those are very inflation proof. So I will say that. Hey, that's a good question, brother. That's a good question. Goyard says, "Sup, Jeremy? I heard you were a ped." Who is Jeremy, by the way? I'm trying to figure out who Jeremy. Are you talking about Jeremy LeBabe? That guy's the man. Tahoe OG says, "Why don't you try and work for their competition?" That is a good question. Actually, let's ask ChatGPT real quick. Who? And I'll ask that. Actually, I'm going to ask that here in just a second. I realize I have to do something real quick. Give me 1 second, folks. I don't even know who their competition would. I guess I could work for another. Here's the thing, though, man. It's not like me working for another call center would make a lick of difference at the end of the day. But I mean, I guess it would be cool. I don't know. I don't want to work in call. I don't. After that experience, man, I've been working a call center for 13 years, and when you start having Karen managers like that, managers who are pure Karens, it gets really rough. It gets really ugly very quickly, and you just want to avoid it, brother. You just want to avoid it. If I'm going to be honest, but yeah, I'm still here. It feels good to have a standing desk right now, though, because this is a good old standing platform. I like doing shows where I could stand up and use the computer. I want to get the laptop a little closer to me, though. There we go. Get the laptop's closer. Let's read more of the comments here. Lucifer Morningstar says hi. Jules said Tim Smith sold me a Fent behind Walgreens. That's what Jules is saying. Jules also says, what if I ask you to go on a date, big boy? I am in a relationship. Sorry, I'm already taken. I appreciate the offer, but no. Kyle Hedinger says, can I be a mod? No, we don't need any mods on this channel because we don't really want to censor anybody on the channel. We just kind of do what we do on this channel, and we just like to encourage. I don't know. We just like to encourage just general free speech and general free thinking. And I realized, I never put any hashtags on here. TTEC. Management fired. I'm trying to think of some good hashtags real quick. Hold on, you guys. What would be some good hashtags to describe my management? I'm gonna try to figure that one out real quick. I'm gonna get to more of the comments. Let's see. Mr. Donald Duck says me and your mom. Okay. Daniel says yo. Cookie said, I'm not gonna. Mr. Donald Duck says, I got one hand jam going on, playing with the other hand. With one hand, thinking, oh my god. Ultra Fire says, good evening. Good evening, Ultra Fire. I appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Nightbox Helper says, hey, if you're new, I'm going to be playing Roblox. I am not going to be playing Roblox at all, but you have fun playing Roblox, buddy. But, you know, hey, anybody who wants to watch this dude, Nightbot Helper, play Roblox, you guys go for it. Let's see. Esper says, been thinking about how Master of Puppets, the album about quitting cocaine, is amazing to listen to on cocaine. Interesting. Very fascinating. Grant says, yo, from Tokyo, Japan. Get it, G-Dog. Get it, man. Hey, I love this standing desk right now. Man, I love the fact that I can, move. Get really good here. Let's see. Yep, there we go. So I got all the hashtags I need in there. Let's see. TTEC management fired, unemployed, call center life back company, horrible bosses. Cool. I'll put the tags in as well. Let's see. Yeah, man, I'm not doing my marketing well. Damn. I gotta start figuring my life out, you guys. I can't even market this show properly. And we haven't even looked in the TTEC subreddits, by the way. We'll get to the subreddit here in a second. Let's go to TTEC Reddit. Let's take a look at more of the comments. Ragin says, hi, I hope you're having an amazing day. I am new to the live. I would like to get a better idea of your morals. Could you please provide your profession, body count, and religion? Thank you very much. I don't ever keep track of body count because one, I haven't really, you know what I mean? I'm usually all about long-term relationships. I try to keep it as long. I keep all relationships long-term. So um, that's my goal, at least. It's always been my goal. I want to make sure that I'm a one-woman kind of man. That's the easiest way I could describe it. But as far as it goes, my profession was I was working for a call center called TTEC. Um, they're a bad company. They're just they they reward incompetence and then they punish people who are competent who question management. And yeah, if you question management, man, they don't tolerate it at all. And they have a sense of entitled worth. They think that they're more important than they really are. They act like they're like royalty almost. They're basically I thought I was a diva and I kind of am. Granted. But if I feel like I'm being slighted, and I not just feel I was being slighted by management and being talked to in an unprofessional way, yeah, I hated it. Let's see here. Justin Barry says, how is your day?" Let's see. Ragin says, let's see. Mine is unemployed too, and Christian. So Justin, by the way, my day's been all right. I mean, did a little bit of DoorDash today, but that's about it. I'm unemployed too, and Christian. Kratos says hello, Kratos. Digital Underground King says you look like James Vanderbeek. That's actually kind of, in a lot of ways, that's kind of a compliment. He's a very sexy man, and I like James Vanderbeek. I've seen that man. We got kind of, you're right. Holy crap! I'm kind of thinking about that. I think you might be right, G-Dog. I do kind of have a Vanderbeek look, so I appreciate that. Kimura says, hey, hello, Kimura. Digital Underground King says second cousin, maybe. I don't know. JS says, what's that behind you crawling? Don't you F with me on that one. Digital Underground King says James Vanderbeek AO, mixed martial artist. Hello. Hello. Mixed martial artist. It's funny. I play on the word autistic and stuff. I like that. I mean, I'm partially autistic, so I guess I can laugh at that. You should be able to laugh at anything, no matter what you are. You're just mad because I'm fly as hell. I can't be mad at somebody who's flyer than me. I know that I got kind of a very gay look to me. I can't help it. Where are you from? Says Nala. I am from heaven. Just kidding. Let's see. No, I'm from. I'm not gonna actually say where I'm from because I don't want to give too much information about myself. I think it's best to keep that on the down low. So I'm not gonna say where I'm actually from. Fisherman Bobby says, liar. Fisherman Bobby, what am I lying about, G-Dog? You gotta let me know. Caden says hello. Y equals certain O face emoji or whatever. Yo, Mr. Palad says you need a haircut. Oh yeah, it's getting my hair is getting a little bigger. I'm probably going to cut my hair probably in a couple weeks, I think. Tim Smith is saying hashtag TTEC Epstein list. Cool. Do you think, Tim? Are you suggesting that TTEC is on the list? Tim Smith. We might be uncovering something. Let's see. Michael Grimes says, okay, I got a question for you. If God got all this power to hold up all the planets and moons in space, that a lot of power to do, tons of power more than Superman, why isn't nobody scared of God? Well, here's the thing. Most people aren't really scared of God because they don't believe God exists. They just believe that and this is a sad thing, man, because look, the question is there a creator, or is everything that we see here, like our existence, for example, is it creative design or is it chaotic design? Were we created out of chaos or were we created out of order? Right? Were we created out of an actual creator? Do we? The question is, do we have a creator, or is chaos in nature our pure creator? And either one of those, I actually feel kind of comfortable with. Oddly enough, the older I get, you know, the older I get, I wouldn't say I feel more comfortable with death. Death, I think, is something to be afraid of to some degree. I think a healthy fear of death is, as Captain Sisko would say, there ain't nothing like a healthy fear of death to keep one moving. But at the same time, it's a good question. I think that, I just think that the thing is, people just don't see any hope in the world, and they just don't believe that there's a creator, and they don't feel like there's a bright tomorrow, so they don't really bother with it. Makes sense. Sadly, it makes sense. But, it's something. Let's see, Batman versus Superman. I'm going to subscribe just because you don't have no mod. Just saying, well, I appreciate the subscription. So, any subscription, even becoming a channel member is greatly appreciated. So, the Milkman's Milkman says, are you making choices or just experiencing the illusion of choices in a timeline that has already been decided? That is interesting. So the question is, do we have free will? I think what you're proposing is this. Do we have free will? Or are we just truly acting upon our actual nature, and every decision that we're making right now is very predictable? It's interesting. I don't know if there is free will or not. I mean, okay, so I take that back. So there is free will, but I do believe that there are predetermined patterns of behavior that everybody has that allows them to make a decision. Is free will an illusion? That's a question that's kind of haunted me. I'd like to believe that I have free will, but that's a very good question. But I do believe freedom is an important concept in life. I do believe that freedom matters. So just remember that. Freedom does matter. Anyway. LGZZ says, I thought this was Buzz from Home Alone. It's pretty funny, actually. DJ BJ Clark says, what kind of YouTube channel is this? This is really just, first off, it's an investing channel primarily, but because my incompetent, terrible supervisors who made me feel like garbage, and I don't like them at all, they made me feel like garbage to the point that I'm upset still about it. Even thinking about them. Thinking about them makes me very upset. They are just not very good people. And I can't believe I had to work with these people. I'm not going to lie. The colleagues that I worked with, they did the best they could. They are good colleagues. I want to actually give a huge shout out to a lot of my colleagues. Not management, though. Everybody but management, okay? Management's the problem. Management is terrible. Sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I'm on the laptop real quick, trying to check a few things out. Let's let's check out the Reddit page for TTEC. Now you're not going to be able to see my screen. I will narrate it for you. By the way, if you guys want to see these posts, just go to reddit.com/r/TTEC. In fact, I'll actually put it in the chat real quick so that way you guys got access to it. Hold on. This will take a few seconds. Sorry about that, you guys. While I'm at it, let me see. I'm going to try to read more. There's so many comments. You guys are trying to keep up here. Gingers have no soul is what Midas22 says. YT-Tech, they said to be, Michael years ago. God is hold up a trillion tons. 24 hours a day. Trillions and tons, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. Let's see. Chevy XXP says, "What's up from Arizona? What up, Chevy? How you doing, brother?" The milkman says, "If every atom in you is replaced and your memories slowly distort, on what substrate does moral responsibility persist, and how would a court judge a defendant recompiled with altered neural weights?" I have zero clue on how to answer that. That's outside of my wheelhouse, brother. I have no clue. Let's see. AGC says, "You ever smoked a sausage?" I do eat smoked sausage. I do like that. I'm sure that's a gay joke. DJ BJ Clark says, "What about other planet with life on it?" No, there's. Oh, dude, I've actually, if there's life on this planet, I would be shocked if there wasn't life on other planets. For instance, within our own galaxy itself, there are probably plenty of planets within our own galaxy that probably have not just I think single-celled life could actually be more common than we think. Or it could be more rare. It's so tough to say because we just have no way of proving how common life actually is. So it's interesting stuff, man. Super Earth or tyranny, says the green cone bear. Super Earth or tyranny? I don't know. It sounds like I don't know if it's a. I don't know how to answer that one. Let's see. Arkham says, "What is the a square plus the b square?" A square plus the b square. Well, I mean, here, are you talking about a squared plus b squared? I think by all technicality, wouldn't it be c squared? Feeling a little dumb right now. Let me think about this real quick. I could prove that in my head. Let's see if 1 squared would be 1. And then 4. Technicality, I think it would still be reverse that. Oh, I don't know how to answer that. It's been a while since I can't even think about how to answer that. If that's even what you're talking about. Let's see. Pete says, "Are you in the Epstein files?" Probably. No, just kidding. But no, you might. Are you on the Epstein files, Mr. Pete McGinnis? Pork sausages are delicious, says Mr. 9797. Pete McGinnis says, "Or the Diddy tapes." I might be on the Diddy tapes just because I'm a huge Diddy fan. So, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now, 'cause we bad boys for life. Diddy makes me cream my panties. I don't know why. I love P. Diddy, because he's a gay boy for life. Oh. Anyway, let's see. You must be a live action Peter Griffin. That's a good one. You must be. Arkham says, pork sausages. Emily says hello. Rughead RC says, lol, milkman. Yes. Yes, sir. Little toilet says, everyone is always using me. Everyone always using me. Get a bidet. Oh, you know, the bidet turned me gay. Emily says, hi. Hello, Emily. Welcome to the show. We're doing this. Really doing this, Red Band. Carlos Perkins says it's a 3-dimension. Oh, yeah. Batman versus Superman. What time do you start your live channel? Because it's 1:50 a.m. now. Well, first off, it is, because I'm on the Pacific Standard Time, it is 10:56 p.m. where I'm at. So, but yeah, this is it. This is the show. Batman vs Superman. What time do you start your live channel? Because it's, see, I was in the same place you were about your supervisor, so I learned a skill. Now I'm paint cars for a living. Yeah, I mean, luckily, I was already doing delivery driving on the side with my car, so so a few of the skills that I don't have any. I luckily I have an ability to learn pretty quickly, but overall, I pretty much own my own business. I'm a sole proprietor almost, I guess you could say. I pretty much just do delivery driving. I do the YouTube channel. I make money from that. I make quite a bit of money for my investments, so a lot of my investments do pay for some of the things that I tend to purchase using money. Juice says, love the decor, and says, hi, hello, Juice. Good to see you, brother. Carlos Perkins says, lol. Hell yeah. Rob Mack says, yo, should I subscribe to your channel? I hope you do. I mean, if you like the content, if you like me, if you think I might be an interesting fella, feel free to subscribe. Saul Goodman in 2025. Okay, first off, I want to take a look here at the poll. We have 53 votes total on this poll, and I cannot be more excited. I got the Chris Hansen voice. Oh, Frank Luna sent a gift, sent 100. I don't know, what is 100 here? Yeah, what kind of gift is that? Like is that one of those like virtual gifts, like a virtual it's a rupee, I think. So it's a virtual token, so I think I could cash out on those too, which is pretty tight. I don't know how a lot of the virtual tokens work, so I will admit I'm a little not sure. Let's see. Boom2 says, do you have any affiliation with the Muffin Man? Probably not. Rude. Don't have to be so rude, you guys. I'm the Muffin Man. So Chaos says, what's the topic? So we're going to go over the TTEC subreddit. We're going to give the people what they want. This is, I was talking about my experience with TTEC and, just how, honestly, how crappy they were to me. Look, you guys, I'm having trouble talking about it because if I was working for a good company, the things that I was feeling would be taken seriously, but they weren't. So it sucks. Are you a programmer? Says B Ruiz, and I say to that, I do dabble in different programming languages and come up with some very interesting little scripts, I guess you could say. But I've never really created a full-on project that mattered, But it is an enjoyable hobby of mine. I do like having the computer do what I want it to do. So I do like creating very, very fun software if I can. I wouldn't say I'm the best programmer by any means, but I do enjoy software development. And there's a lot of good programming languages out there, and a lot of them have evolved. C++ even has evolved over the years. Getting a little more into Python, just because Python is a good programming language to learn. Um, Surprisingly, I'm pretty decent in Java. I do like I like Java. Um, but yeah, I mean, I would say that I do enjoy programming though. Anything simple though at this point, I do like to outsource it to like GPT-5 and stuff, so that's kind of fun. Um, Shibito Florence says, "Why not try Brain? It's simple and better than Java slop." Okay. Let's see. So what? Let's see what the. So we have 56 votes. 48% of you say yes, it's a bad company. 52% of you say. Well, hold on. So is TTEC a garbage company? Is the question. 48% of you say yes. 52% of you say no. So. Laughin' Lover 69 says you forgot to program your eyebrows. True. Uh, I'm either here's the thing. I'm either the product of incest or I'm the product of just bad genetics. So it explains why I got blue eyes and blonde hair. I got too many recessive genes for my own good. Um, I got way too many recessive genes for my own good. Minito A66 is Eric Roshan says hello from Mexico. Hello. KO says AI. I don't know much. A while back, my friend close worked as a programmer at Intel Corp. Shedela Floof says, "Dang, dude is straight up." I'm honest, dude. Here's the thing. I may be a little sarcastic. I may have a little bit of a tinge to my persona, for sure. But if there's one thing I can say is I'm honest. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. TTEC is a bad experience. You know, you might get some good managers if you're lucky, depending on the client that you work for. And when I say client, I mean the company that you're outsourcing the customer service for. Manito says you just got to lose weight, bro, and you got to look at. I'm not fat. I got kind of a fat face. I'll admit it. I do need to lose some weight, but I'm not like, yeah. Sheba de Floof says, "Hey, honest people are all good in my book." Yeah, it's honesty's the best policy, man. It's the way I look at it, man. You just got to be honest. Minito A66 says, "What's your height?" My height is actually about 6'1", 6'2". The reason I say 6'1", 6'2" is it's been a long time since I've been measured on my height. And I did go through one last growth spurt. So when I was younger, I measured at about 6 foot. So it is possible. It is possible that I might actually be 6'2", which is kind of crazy. I will say I've been, walking a lot more. I've been using my yoga ball, so my posture's gotten better. So I've been able to kind of flex my back to stand up a little straighter, so I can actually be the height that I actually am. And what's your height? Let's see. You got to lock in, bro. Lose some weight. Look, here, hold on. Check this out. Hold on. Is this enough weight for you? Huh? Look. Look, I got some man boobs. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, let's see here. Manito says you need to get to less than 200 pounds, and you gotta yeah, I'm about probably, well, it's been a while since I measured myself, to be honest. Oh, man. What am I, like 250? I mean, I could be about 250 pounds. That might be a good guess. Put my wrist bridge. Start going to the gym. Dude, gyms are for closeted dudes. Only closeted dudes go to gyms, by the way. Just a fun fact. If you're a closeted man, you go to the gym. So, Nifty says, stop yapping and shake them dreads. Manito says 270 pounds. Dude, I am like, I'm not saying I'm thin as a rail, but like, dude, look at this. Like, do I got some man boobs? Yes. But am I big? No. I ain't that big, man. I'm kind of big, you know. Kind of. I put my wrist, my spurge, let's see, Nas for both. If I'm subscribing, broski. Thank you, Manito. I appreciate it. Become a member if you can. Now we're going to take a look. Wow, 55% of you say no, that TTEC is not a garbage company. 45% of you say yes. We got 60 votes in, but hey, we'll take a look and see if we can change your mind. We're going to see that other people have had similar experiences. Now, in the TTEC Reddit, I am going to look up gaslighting. I am kind of curious to see how many people. So let's see. So gaslighting was one of the terms. We're going to look up another. So there's only 4 accounts of gaslighting on here. But within the thread, there might be more. We'll see. We'll take a look at the most recent one we can find. So this one's 5 months ago. It only has 3 comments. This person says, joining TTEC was the worst decision I ever made. To start, the interview process was horrible. The interviewer was late by 45 minutes. I applied for a work-for-home customer service representative position. And while I was sharing my work experience as a technical support agent, the interviewer assumed I was applying for a tech support role instead. In the end, they convinced me to reapply and take the assessment for tech support since it paid slightly more, but with a catch. If I failed, I wouldn't be able to reapply for the next 3 months. Kind of ridiculous considering I passed for the customer service role. Couldn't they have just reprofiled me? It became obvious they just urgently needed people for the tech support queue. I passed the interview for the tech support role. I also had other pending applications, which I clearly mentioned during the interview. I asked for 1 to 2 business days before signing the contract, but HR insisted I sign it within the next hour or else the job posting would close. That was a turning point, and one that would eventually take a toll on both my physical and mental health. Training days were mid. It definitely sounds like that sounds like a Gen Z term, mid. So this person could be a lame-ass Gen Z person who has no work ethic. So here's the thing. I will tell you this. I had work ethic. I did come in and I outperformed majority of everybody I worked with. And I never gave anybody flack, by the way, about that. I am a bit of a savant, mainly because I'm autistic, probably. And the reason I have hyperfocus is because I have Asperger's syndrome. Surprise. I don't think anybody's surprised by that, to be honest. You don't have to lift the hard weights. Start with the easy ones first. I might do some weightlifting eventually. I'm not sure. Let's see. Manito's 66s, bro. You're still young. Do it now because later it'll be super hard to lose weight. Absolutely, I agree with that. 100%. I understand that. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Look, I'm actually, by the way, I'm 37. Take that back. I lied. I keep wanting to say I'm 37, but to be honest, I just turned 40. And I just, dude, I wish I was 37 again, man. I also do try to keep my age pretty ambiguous for the most part, as much as possible. So let's see, what do we got here? But yeah, 60 votes on this poll, man. We got 60 motherfucking votes. Thank you guys for taking the time to vote on this, and check out the pinned comment as well. But yeah, no, I put my wrist to my spurs. Let's see. I see you still. You got it still, bro. You just got to lock in. Absolutely. You know, and I will say this: as much as I hated my management team, and I do think that they gaslit the hell out of me, I think I feel far I feel worse for them than I do for me right now. Because at the end of the day, they are the most miserable people I've ever met. The most miserable people. Like I said, the lead that I had to work with, Brittany, my lead, was a bad dude. There's something up with her. I have never met somebody that I felt was a pure sociopath like that ever in my life. It was pretty rough. And then above Brittany was Becky. Becky was, dude, I didn't realize how much of a snake she was until I started realizing that she was just telling me what I wanted to hear. And that's like, she wasn't being truthful with me. She just told me what she wanted me to hear. And she was enabling Brittany to treat me like garbage during my one-on-ones, because first off, sadly the one-on-ones are not recorded. I wish they would have been, because they would have seen just how much of a sociopath this person is. It pisses me off they never record that shit. I would have loved it. Expose that monster for who she is, but I just feel bad for him at the end of the day. You know, I may have very strong hatred towards them. I may feel very strongly towards them in a way that's very negative, and if something's negative, I don't like focusing on it. But the reason I'm doing this video is not because I want to continue to focus on it. One, this is good content because first off, I can give it's like think of it like a warning beacon, right? This is a warning beacon for a company that has treated me poorly, and they'll treat you poorly too. Trust me. It's not a guarantee. You might actually get on a client that may treat you where the management treats you well. I hope they do. I sincerely hope they do. I want them to treat you well, but they may not. I don't know. Let's keep reading let's keep reading this here real quick. Cryt TV says, well, good morning, chumps. Good morning, G-Dog. For wherever the hell you are. Let's see. Yeah, this is the thing. This person said, I dreaded going to work every day. It's a feeling I haven't had in a long time. The only saving grace was that it was work from home. Sure, there are nice people in my team. One time, on my rest day, my lead messaged me. What I appreciate most about working with TTEC is, and honestly, I was surprised they even had the audacity to ask that. I ended up filing an immediate resignation last March because at one point it genuinely felt like the job was going to kill me. I returned the company equipment and eventually got my back pay. A measly $5,000 around. Looking back, I honestly regret even returning the damn equipment after everything. That amount felt like a slap in the face. Seriously, F this company. Yeah, dude, I'm surprised they paid me. They actually sent a direct deposit to me. And whoa, you know. Let's see. Kilikina says it's 11 p.m. here. Yeah, it's 11 p.m. where I'm at too, because I'm Pacific Standard Time, 11:14 specifically. Specific on the Pacific, but whatever. But yeah, I honestly, I'm just happy it's over with. When you have to deal, let's see, A-hole says, dude looks like a supermarket bag boy. Well, this supermarket bag boy, by the way, is one of the better investors, and I'm closer to retiring than you are, a-hole. So I am closer to retiring than most people realize, which is nice. But it is nice to be able to supplement whatever income I have just doing DoorDash and stuff like that. So it's going to be exciting. Kilikina says, "Are you in Cali, a-hole?" I'm in. I'm on the coast of Oregon. Let's see. A-hole says, "I'm already retired." Cool. Nah, he looks more like like Chucky, but in a goofy way. Cool. Yeah, I got an odd look, man. I mean, I am a mixed raced individual. I'm like German, I'm Mexican, and all that stuff. So, let's see. Let's see. Easter says, "Come closer." A-hole says, "I bought Bitcoin in 2010." I mean, I got into Bitcoin early, but I started betting against it when it got a little too high because we all know that Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, brother. You know that, right? Bitcoin is a Ponzi. Let's see. Anonymous Prime says, "Good." Let's see. If you DoorDashed my meal, I'd be afraid of getting recessive genes after eating. That is funny because like I got blonde hair, I got blue eyes, I got like my eyebrows are so freaking thin. Like I just never really had eyebrows to begin with. So, uh, let's see. Let's see. Kilikina says, "Oh, my whole family except me lives in Oregon." Hell yeah. Larry Cottingham says, "Do you have COVID?" Probably. What kind of fucking questions that? That's the dumbest shit ever. Shout out to Westland, Oregon. Heck yeah. Says Laughing Lover 69. Joe says you didn't get into BTC in 2010. LMAO. Hey, dude. Like, I didn't get in that early, but I got in pretty early. Just gonna say that right now. A-hole says, "Well, I cashed out 1.8 million, bro. Retired at 35." Well, hell yeah, bro. Hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, man, if you profited from a Ponzi scheme and you found a way to get out early, I say good on you, brother. Nickname says, "I'm gay for you." Thank you, Nickname. I appreciate it. Well, if you're really gay for me, make sure you subscribe to the channel and become a channel member. So, we definitely need more channel members, and we are, we want the channel members, man. We need all the channel members we can get. So 64 votes and 45% of you say yes, it's a garbage company, and 55% of you say no, that TTEC is not a garbage company. Interesting. Adair says, if income and debt wasn't a concern, which would you do, med school or law school? Okay, so if income and debt wasn't a concern, like if I got the schooling paid for and I didn't have to worry about the monetary part of it, first off, I hate most laws. I think most of the laws that have been invented by man, when it comes down to it, are pure garbage. So I would be a terrible lawyer because I have the utmost disrespect for a lot of stupid laws. So law school would be out of the question. Now, I definitely would, if I had no other choice to choose between the two, I would do med school. I think I would be surprisingly an excellent nurse or a doctor, one or the other, right? Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't have the acumen to be a doctor. Who knows? But most laws are ridiculous. I think I'd rather be a contributing. I would rather contribute to the medical field than the field of law. I think most laws are stupid. I do think laws are necessary, but I do believe we live in a world where there are too many laws, and when there's too many laws, there's just too much dysfunction, and there needs to be more simplification with the laws. Let's see. Emily says, hello, Emily. Yeah, laws are dumb, says Squishers. Yep. Dottie Hottie says, Nick, we matched on BBW Cupid. What the hell is that? What the hell? Jesus Christ. BBW Cupid? But I am kind of curious. Let me see if there's any other TTEC related stuff here. Let's see. Nickname says, "Are you an anarchist?" No, I do. I am somebody who does believe in small government, though. I believe government on the federal level needs to be small. I put my wrist in. Is he Dottie trip in for real? Yeah, Dottie is probably high on mushrooms. I don't know. I have no idea who this person is. Hold on. Oop. It's falling off. Hold on. Okay. We're back together on this thing. I think we're back. Hold on. Okay, the thing's. I thought everything was falling down. I was like, oh my god. Let's see. Squish says, "Do you believe in God?" I I've considered, for sure. It just depends on if you believe that this is all. You know what I mean? Like, it is possible that everything could have been created out of chaos, including God himself. And if God was created out of chaos and was the first form of order, I could see God existing well beforehand, because God would, in some senses, be a form of energy. And I could see an intelligent energy. Sentience. It's interesting stuff, man. It's tough to say. Let's see. Med school is calling, and it takes great discipline. Absolutely. Yeah. Let's see. Dottie Hottie says, "I'm ready for all." Oh my god. You can go to Olive Garden with Squish. Squish says, "Dottie, let me pay your bills and treat you right." See, dude, Squish can be your sugar daddy, and you could be Squish's sugar baby. How's that sound? Dottie says, "Squish, I need 5,000 right now." Oh my god, this is. I ain't saying you's a gold digger, but you ain't messing with no broke. You guys thought I was gonna say it. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Laura says, "Where's your soul, Ginger?" It's somewhere. It's up my ass. Let's see. Batman versus Superman says, "I agree with, with too many laws." Yep. You say, are you saying that you agree with a lot of the laws that exist, or are you saying you agree that there's too many laws? I don't know. Kate says, "Could you make me a moderator?" And I say, "Kate, we have no moderators on this channel, and I'm very proud of that." Squish says, "Baby, you got to earn that money first. You got to get to sucking." All right. Squish, I'm glad you found love on my channel, brother. You go have fun with it. Let's see. I put my wrist in my Asperger's. Say, "Ayo." Laura says, "You eat corn the long way, fool." Oh, dude, I do eat. I eat the corn the long way. You gotta. Let's see. Venturio says, "Are you a man or a woman?" Somebody actually did think that I was like a post-op, like a trans man. Like, they actually thought I was converting from a woman to a man. Like, that is pretty funny, actually. I've had that happen to me before. They thought I was like a lesbian. Let's see. Joe Schmo says, "Who's the Amish gangster?" And I say, I don't know. Dottie Hottie says, "Go ahead, girl, get down." I don't care. I'm reading too much of your guys' damn comments, man. I gotta stop this shit. Let's see. Admirable Owl says, "I used to work for TTEC. I have never, ever hated working for any place as much as I hated working for TTEC. I don't even think I have hated working anywhere, to be honest. It was great at first, but became depressing. Was lied to about raises." Let's see. This is all Admirable Owl's quotes I'm reading. My TL made it impossible. I think he's saying team lead when he says TL. My team lead made it impossible to score above 70s on QAs. Before her, I made 90s, 100s, and I was ultimately a chat agent when I was finally fired in the last 8 months. I was just like, F this job. And by the way, I'm still quoting this, by the way. I'm just reading this on Reddit. "I called in all the time because I truly hated my job at that point. I only kept it Well, I took some online courses to have that income. 1 month, my bonus hit all the metrics with flying colors. Was looking to be almost $400. My team lead decided to end that dream the last week of the month and turned it all into a nightmare with some reliability BS, not logging in and out or something properly, and of course an auto fail on a technicality. This is freaking me out, dude. This person was experiencing almost exactly the shit that I was going through. Hold on. Big Fat Zero on a QA. I was done after that. I was livid. Everything you mentioned brings back terrible memories. You hit the spot on with everything you said. I was fired in February and it felt like I had been reborn. Exactly. I feel very reborn right now. I feel great knowing that tomorrow I get to wake up, that I get to do delivery driving instead of having to deal with that shit. Let's see. Yeah, no, it's a terrible place to work for, man. It's not good. I'm, like I said, very grateful that they paid me. I really am, like, from the bottom of my heart, straight up. Let's see. Um, let's see. Baz Mad at the World. Let's see here. Shabazz says, "Say what, chump?" I don't know, brother. Yeah, to talk to, I put my wrist in some butt cheeks. Dottie Hottie says, "Chump." The end says it's written by AI. Put my wrist on. I think you read my comment right, little bro. I pooped on the street and the bus ran it over. Then the bus but smeared it on the street and then it got on the car's wheels and then it got all over town. Oh my god, what the heck? Dottie says, "Bro's a DoorDasher." I'm not ashamed of that, by the way, because I like doing DoorDash as a side gig. I just did it on the side because I was like, this is probably gonna be the next job that I'll have to do because, well, I feel like shit. Dale, Usari says your wig is crooked. Oh, hold on. It is a wig. I'm a wigger. I'm a wigger because I wear a wig. I'm a wig. Uh. I'm a wig. 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 I'm a wig. Let's see. Mixed martial artist says, "How can I tell if a guy at my gym may be gay or bisexual?" It's pretty easy because if you want to tell if they're gay or bisexual, just know that there's no bisexuals at a gym. Know that if they're going to the gym and lifting weights, they're just gay. It's as simple as that. The best test is that they're at the gym. If they're at a gym, then they're gay. That's my understanding. I think going to the gym is stupid. I really do. I think that you can get all your workouts just by either exercising at home, doing push-ups. Like, I may not be in super shape, but honestly, considering I sat down most of the time, I mean, I still walk and stuff. I still do shit, and I play basketball. But let's see. Dottie says, "You were supposed to deliver my food to my door 45 minutes ago." Absolutely. And then Dale says, "That's better." Shabazz says, "You have a boogie hanging from your right nostril, right here." Or right here. I put, "Who do you think you're talking to?" I put, says, "Say it." I'm talking to you. So I put, says he's talking to Dottie. Let's see. Mixed martial artist says, "From your lips to God's ears, that would increase my dating." Oh, good lord. Let's see. No Regret says, "Hi, wash your hands now." Let's see. Regrets says, "Your stream is kind of lame, but I don't know yet. And it's kind of lame, for sure. You have every right to say that because it is a little crazy. Somebody 7 months ago said TTEC related anxiety attacks. This person saying, I'm just coming down from an anxiety attack from this job. Show of hands, how many of you have ever gotten an anxiety attack from your TTEC job? Let's see. Pierce says me, which is why I texted my team lead today and quit. I start a new job Monday. What project were you on? Because New York tolling call reps keep quitting. Progressive was one of them. I was with Progressive too. I hated it. So many anxiety attacks. Good for you for quitting. Absolutely. Let's see. My mental health went from the best it's ever been to don't want to do anything real quick. Depression hit hard. Anxiety and all. Um, are you on Progressive commercial lines? Let's see. No, I was on auto, and I'm no longer there. Commercial lines, let's see. Easy pass. Let's see. I'm literally going to schedule an appointment with a psychologist today because of how bad this job makes my anxiety. It's a bad. It really, dude. It honestly, it's not the job itself per se. For me, surprisingly, doing the job, because I took. You think that I would have anxiety or some issues, but dude, I was taking like even on a slow day, I was taking like 50 calls a day. So I'd take 50 or 55 calls, sometimes closer to 60. But most of even on slow days, I was taking I wasn't taking all the calls, but I was taking quite a few calls, right? I wouldn't clear the queue, but I would, because we don't have a lot of people on our team. Um, it's just the truth. No regret says, let's see, I do like your personality, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. Be careful for the gain eggers. They're bad this year, says not Brett. Okay. Rock Out says Ed Sheeran. Hell yeah. Ed Sheeran's the man. I like Ed Sheeran. Why they want you to wash your hands? Because I picked my nose. I'm not washing my hands right now. No, I do actually wash my hands quite a bit. In fact, I do. I even keep alcohol stuff all over the place. Like the little alcohol wipes and shit. So. Bradford says he was picking his butt. That's why they want him to wash his hands. Absolutely. Chrome Warrior says you seem chill, so I subbed. Thank you, bud. I appreciate the subscription, and hopefully you guys could become channel members too. It's only 99 cents a month, so keep that in mind. Let's see. Squish says I'm at work right now, working an overnight shift. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hope work is going well for you, G. You gotta wash them hands. I just picked. That's extremely cheap. Jules says you have dead eyes like the frozen fish section of Walmart. I mean, maybe I got dead eyes. I'd like to think I got a little bit of life in these eyes. I mean, kind of. Maybe there's just nothing behind them. That's the scary part. Maybe there's nothing behind my eyes. Let's see. Northeast is how many days? Oh Jesus, I'm not reading that one. God himself says lol. Squish says it is, but the 2 felonies that are pending isn't. God himself says they don't. Hold on. They don't. What is it? Yeah, I'm the man behind the blue eyes. Here you go. Jules says, nah, bro, you look like your soul died about 20 years ago. I mean, I think the scary thing is you might be right. I often wonder about that. So trash Northeast. Northeast says, "Did you tell your neighbors?" Northeast says, "Did you tell your neighbors that you're on the registry?" I know. Oh my God, I know which registry you're talking about, brother. I ain't no PDF. I ain't no PDF file. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Let's see. God himself says they don't know what it's like to be the man behind blue eyes. I think that I'm sorry. No one knows what it's like to be the sad man, to be the bad man behind blue eyes. No one knows how to say that they're sorry. Don't worry, telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. My love is vengeance that's never free. Did you ever make that cure? I don't know. Let's see. A birth certificate has apology letter from the abortion clinic. One more time. All I gotta say is, man, I'm just let's see. Alexander says, so what's the point of your stream? Just popped up, if you don't mind me asking. Let's see. Well, the point of my stream is to basically encourage people to invest, but encourage them to invest intelligently, to stay diversified, to be exposed to several different asset classes, not just stocks. You could be exposed to several different asset classes through things that are called exchange-traded funds. So you don't really have to reach too far to get exposure to other asset classes. Also, you want to be exposed to assets across the globe. For example, if you are into stocks, it's not enough to just be a part of U.S. stocks. I think it's good to be a part of international stocks. You can get exposure to international stocks through exchange-traded funds. They're called ETFs. You know, you can get access to commodities through ETFs. There's so many things you could do. Bonds, you name it. Real estate investment trusts are really nice. Let's see. Hold on. So what is the point of your... So I already read that. Gingers don't have... Squiz says, is short and girthy better than long and skinny? I'm long and skinny. I mean, you can use a bathmate, by the way. If you get bored, use a bathmate, brother. Bathmate is a hydro cock pump, basically, that makes your cock bigger. It makes it longer, but it also makes it wider. It's really nice. It also helps with erectile dysfunction, in my experience. It's not medical advice or anything. It's just, I like the bathmate. So, Northeast Stig says, how big are you? He exposes his stocks a lot. Son of a bitch, man. That's funny. Rock is off the juice. Oh, no. I do like The Rock, though, man. I think he's pretty cool. All right, we're just going to end the poll. So at the end of the day, I think 79 votes is pretty good. Oh, 82 votes. Okay, never mind. We're going to end the poll here in just a second, though. We got 82 votes in. Is TTEC a garbage company? So 48% of you say yes, and then 52% of you say no. Make sure you get your final votes in before I shut down the poll. I'm going to shut down the poll here in a second. We'll do a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're ending the poll right now. All right, so I would say it's a pretty even split almost. I mean, 52% of you said that no, it's not a garbage company, but 48% of you say yes. So it's a very, almost a 50-50 split, but more people were leaning towards no, but only by a little bit were they leaning towards no. So I would say the people were pretty split for the most part. Pete says you should stop touching other men. You should stop telling me what to do. Junior says, yo, what up, Junior? How you doing, brother? Dude, I don't know. I'm just so sweaty right now. Hold on. I gotta drink of water. But yeah, if you guys, if you guys could become like channel members, that would help out a lot. Let's see, Junior. Let's see. Junior says yo, and then Pete says he didn't. He didn't deny it. Junior asks, "Do you like drugs?" I'm not much of a drug guy. I think caffeine's the closest drug that I like. I used to love smoking cigarettes. I still do on occasion, but I don't like to smoke them anymore. Nicotine is very addictive, and it was very tough for me to quit when I was younger. So. Let's see. James says my mayor bans the flags. What can I do? What about melodies? Let's see. Squash says how much coke have you done tonight? 0. I relapsed on perks and meth. Oh my god, Junior, what? I didn't know you were on Percocets. Let's see. Kano says, do you get your eyebrows done? Honestly, I just have very thin, lack of color on the brows, so not much going on there for the brows, man. Pete says my drug is Dr. Pepper. My old ass is been drinking that for over 40 years. Wow. Get it, my man. So this, usually we take these on trips. We were going to go on a trip recently, but we, a lot was going on in our lives, so we kind of canceled out. So I had a few of these just sitting. I get these from Grocery Outlet for a pretty cheap price, but they're Saratoga waters. I usually just drink out of my water filter, but I was like, I got my fancy water, so I'm just going to drink them. Squeeze says I'm on the Perkies and off them. Pete says I'm 56. Oh, jeez. You old man. You's an old man. Junior says I've been on perks and meth. Oh my god, really? You see, you've been on perks and meth for about 15 years? Dude, I've never, I don't do drugs. I don't even trust what they prescribe most people. I just don't trust most pharmaceuticals anyway. I just trust that I need vitamin D, and that's about it. Most people are just vitamin D deficient. That's what pisses me off. If people just realized that nutrition was the biggest thing in their lives and they just needed more vitamin D, I'm pretty sure most mental disorders would go away. It's not medical advice, it's just my opinion. Let's see, Larry says, how much were your banking overdraft fees? I have no. Here's the thing, man. I keep a butt ton of money in my checking account, so I never have overdraft fees because I'm not a dumb millennial. I'm not a dumb Gen Z person. I'm actually responsible with my finances. So, and you are probably not. Let's see here. Shano Weapon says, "Can you grow a beard?" I try to. Andrew G says, what's your opinion? What's a butt ton? Well, hold on. Let's take a look here. Andrew G. What were we talking about here? 10,000. I think 10,000 is a good amount to keep in the checking account, to be honest. So Beretta says, "Oh my god." I'm not gonna read that comment. Let's see. Junior says, "Send me some money for perks for my perks." That's up to you, brother. You do your thing. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Larry says, "How many years are you behind on your taxes?" Not behind at all. In fact, I consistently do my taxes because even taxes are not hard to figure out. I do use TurboTax though because that makes things a lot easier. It allows me to sort out my 1099s and stuff like that and get everything in order so that way I pay the appropriate amount to the IRS and stuff. So it's just called being responsible. Sorry. Do you have a cat? Yeah, I got Squeakers and Misty. They live with my girlfriend and they're awesome cats. Andrew G says, "What's a butt?" Okay. Agreed. Are you Republican and conservative? I don't really consider myself truly a conservative. I don't know. I'd say I lean towards maybe libertarian. I would say I'm kind of a classic liberal to some degree, but I don't want big government. Let's just say, let's just say this. I am a an Abraham Lincoln style Republican. I think would be probably the best if we're going to put me in a jar here. If we're going to put a label on me, I'd say Abe Lincoln Republican. So. Pete asks, "Do you have $999 billion of credit card debt?" If I did, I wouldn't pay. I would file bankruptcy immediately. And also, I'm not that stupid. I'm afraid of credit card debt because those interest rates are out of this world, and it blows my mind how so many people are like totally fine with credit card debt. It scares the shit out of me, man. Junior asks, "How old are you?" I'm Junior. Yeah, I'm 40. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How the hell are your teeth so goddamn beautiful? I don't know. You know what's funny is I never need to see a dentist, and my teeth just kind of formed really well. I did have what do you call those things? And one, I don't have a bad diet, so like I don't like I have a pretty surprisingly a good diet, which shocks the heck out of me sometimes. But let's see. Shayna Weapon says, "Who's the hottest redhead of all time?" I'll say I'm going to flatter my buddy. My buddy Nathan's the hottest redhead of all time. That's probably something you didn't expect. I mean, I ain't fapping to him, but I'm saying he's the hottest redhead. You would fap to him, 'cause he's the man. Crazy Cat says me. XD says shiny white and right. All right. Well, Jesus Christ. Ugh. Crazy Cat says ha. Ethan Colvin said, I think I remember Ethan. I haven't seen you in a while, bud. Top 3 sci-fi movies. Star Trek: First Contact's one of my favorites. I do like Wrath of Khan. That's my second favorite sci-fi movie. What would be my other one? I would just say Star Wars overall. It's pretty good. The original movies were out of this world. Junior asks, "What's your wife's name?" I'm just gonna say Britt because, I mean, I'm not married, but we basically are at this point. I consider, even though on paper we're not like legally married, I'm very committed to her. So that's the best part about it, and it's awesome. So. Funny guy 4321 says both parties are corrupt. Yeah. Nickname says, "So you're in the 8th grade and I don't." Whatever. Crazy Cat says, "Do you watch?" I don't know. Let's see. Beating Crawford next week. Buck is asking you beating Crawford next week. Who's Crawford? Let's see. Junior says he's a man and you are attracted to him. Okay, cool. Junior asks, what is that supposed to mean? I don't know. No clue. Maverick asks, is it true? Soul Stranger looks in the mirror. Junior asks, are you lying about having a girlfriend? No, I'm not. I actually do have a great girlfriend. She's incredible. Batman versus Superman says TurboTax. Dude, TurboTax is the tits, dude. It really does come in handy. Ethan says valid sci-fi pick. I hope you have a wonderful Brody. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. Let's see. Derek says respectfully, what happened to your eyebrows? I've basically got no eyebrows. Is the thing. I got no eyebrows. Tesso says, why the F do you look like a grown-ass toddler? I do have a baby face for sure. That is like one big thing. I have a bit of a baby face, so I'll admit that. Let's see. Canelo versus Crawford. I thought you were Canelo. Let's see. Kano weapon. Let's see. This guy giving dead body in the... Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Elijah says, you ever eat a girl out? Yes. Let's see. Junior asks, does she cheat on you? No, she doesn't. Yeah, she's pretty damn loyal to me. Like, we're pretty loyal to each other, so. Gregory says, and the reason I was in state prison was a felony assault. Not really. Okay. Cool. Dissonant says, Section 8, EBT, AC. Chris says, hi, and then Glass says, you do look like a grown-ass toddler. I mean, I kind of do. You know, I don't have any eyebrows, so it's probably a little off-putting, so. Let's see, also, it's true automatic doors don't open the door. What's your thought? Oh, my God. I'm not going to read some of these. I don't even know what's happening anymore. That's like Junior, I'm not doing that, dude, you sicko. You're a piece of shit, dude. I ain't doing that. Something about sensors unable to detect. Squeeze, that's not cool, bud. Let's see. Jesus. It's okay, Junior, whatever. Everybody gets the crazy. Now, Junior... Buddy, I think you did, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm having fun doing this stream, though. I really do enjoy talking to all you guys, just having everybody on the stream. You know, we got up to 1,000 views on the video, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, and if you guys can, become a member. We need it, so. Perks, bro. I'm not making you a mod. Everybody wants to be a mod, dude. You're not a mod, man. I ain't gonna make you a mod. Okay, so I am a little bit tired. I do gotta go to bed. I do have some things I gotta do tomorrow, but I do want to say that I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you. I know that Junior is on the perks, and I am tired right now, man. I'll catch you all later. Have fun, you guys.